So, if you guys want to skip the intro and move straight into the inventory showcase, timestamps for each section of my inventory will be in the description of the video. Before I actually get into my inventory, there's a few things I want to mention. Like many other inventory showcase videos on YouTube, I want to put out a disclaimer that I'm not explicitly making this video to show off my skins. Although in some way I am, I'm mainly doing so to keep track of my inventory for myself, as when I trade, I find myself to be letting go of certain crafts when I obtain new ones, and I want to be able to look back and see some of the crafts I had along my skin collecting journey. I also personally love watching CS inventory showcase videos. I watched pretty much every inventory showcase video on YouTube, even videos that go back 10 years and have less than 50 views. I noticed that there aren't really many Katowice 2014 showcase videos on YouTube, and most of the inventory showcase videos are primarily on liquid skins or stickers that aren't from the KATO 14 tournament, and I know there has to be people that love to watch KATO showcase videos like me out there. That being said, in this video, I go into depth in pretty much all my items, so I apologize in advance for the long video. As I said before, the focus of my inventory is to have hollow stickers from the Katowice 2014 tournament on every weapon in the game, while somewhat maintaining the overall theme of having a dark colored CT side loadout and a bright and colorful T-sided loadout. I'm still missing some skins for certain weapons, but we'll talk about that when we get there. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Starting with my knife, I was very fortunate to be able to purchase a Pattern 14 Nomad case hardened from one of my Blue Gem collector friends. Shout out to the homie for real, you know who you are, man. It's in battle scarred condition, but it has a pretty good float, and Nomad case hardens wear pretty gracefully, unlike other case hardens like the Talon knife. On most sites, it's listed as a tier 2 blue gem, but these sites only account for the total amount of blue on the play side. This pattern is actually one of the best double-sided blue gems in existence, with the play side having a nearly fully blue tip, while having a nearly full blue backside. Although I love this knife to death, I do plan on getting a ruby Doppler further down the line, as I've had to give up my ruby karambit for most of the KATO crafts I have in my collection currently. I'll still probably keep this knife, though I'm not looking to sell it at all, to be completely honest. For my T-sided gloves, I have a pair of minimal wear vices with nearly perfect knuckles. They're alright, I guess, but the main reason why I have these is because I wanted to pair them with the Miami Daryl agent. They looked a lot better than the beta though, and they dropped a ton in price because they were changed to look the way they do today. They still look amazing with my current Nomad knife though. I love the way the blue on the knife kind of matches the blue accents on the vice gloves. For my CT-sided gloves, I currently own a pair of minimal wear king snakes. They don't really have a special float or pattern or anything, they're just a pair of market value king snakes, but I personally love the clean white look to them, and how they look amazing with pretty much any agent sleeves and or gun. It was between these, the snow leopards, and the Nox, and I've owned multiple pairs of all three of these, and I love them all to death, but it's just that the king snakes are the ones I'm currently rocking. Moving on to the pistols, for the Glock, I have the StatTrak Factory New Dragon Tattoo with the Titan Hollow in the best pause. I slapped a little cap gun charm on it when I saw that Monacy was using the Dragon Tattoo with the same cap gun in the same position as shown here. In game, it kind of looks like the charm is shooting alongside the Glock, and I think that's a little bit funny, and the charm matches perfectly with the gray aesthetics of the gun. Even though a lot of people hate how big certain charms look or how they get in the way of the gun itself, I personally think that if you're gonna put a charm on a gun, you should kind of be proud to show it off instead of hiding it away. Fun fact of the Dragon Tattoo is that it wears really well, except for at the very front of the gun right here. Even in Factory New, most Dragon Tattoos will have visible wear at the tip. This is a 007 float, and it looks pretty flawless in game, but if you inspect it closely enough, you'll see a tiny scratch right here, which kinda sucks, but it is what it is. For my USP-S right now, I have a StatTrak Factory New Stainless with a Virtus Pro KATO Hollow in the best pause. It's the best float for a StatTrak stainless for this craft, and I'm enjoying it a lot right now, but I'm looking to upgrade this further down the line. Usually, stainlesses with their KATO hollows in the best pause get way more overpaid than another USP-S released in the same time period, such as the Guardian or Darkwater. For my P250, I have a StatTrak minimal wear undertow with the Titan Hollow in the best pause, with a bunch of random stickers on it as well, with the most notable being the Dignitas Cologne 14 Hollow on the second best pause, which goes for around $750 right now. It doesn't really add much value because most of the value from this craft comes from the Titan Hollow, and it's just a cool unique craft that I like. This is actually the first serious KATO Hollow craft that I ever bought, as I was influenced by Propinator.
I have gotten my absolute end game dream skin last week. I have bought it. Oh my god, I got a trade notification chat. Undertow, baby! With the Titan Hollow! 7, 8, 9, 10, gone. Okay. Bro keto, man, maybe.
And his undertow that he bought a long time ago to go ahead and buy this one for myself. For my CZ auto, I have the Fuchsia Is Now in StatTrak Factory New with a LDLC hollow in the second best pause. I really like how the Fuchsia Is Now matches perfectly with my vice gloves. And I also like how the LDLC hollow kind of turns from green to pink and how that kind of matches with the pink accents of the CZ. I actually personally prefer the LDLC being at the front here because the stickers actually get a little bit warped because of the selector over here, and this is just a cleaner look in my opinion. For my dual Berettas, I have the StatTrak field tested black Limbas with 2 Dignitas hollows. I needed a pair of black dual Berettas for my CT loadout, and when I saw these up for sale on the market, I knew I had to pick these up ASAP. There's only one other pair of 2x Dignitas black Limbas in existence, and that one isn't StatTrak, but it also has 2 Reason hollows on it, and they're owned by Kui, who's a huge KATO collector, so I'm probably not going to be able to get those, and they're probably way too expensive for me anyways. These are also a really good condition and field tested at 0.15 float, so you can barely see any wear to them. For my 5.7, I have a StatTrak minimal wear Kami with an iBuyPower hollow in the best pause. The Kami itself doesn't really have a special pattern on it, but at least it kind of matches well with my CT-sided gloves. Now for my Tech 9. This is actually my favorite pistol I own. It's a StatTrak Factory New blue titanium with a 007 float, with 2 LDLC hollows in the first and second best positions. It's a 1 out of 9 total tradable LDLC hollow Tech 9s in the world, and it's the only one in existence with 2 LDLC hollows, period. KATO hollow Tech 9s are extremely rare, and finding one with multiple KATOs on them for sale is nearly impossible. When I saw this one on the market, I knew I had to push myself to get it, especially since the craft itself matches so perfectly with my vice gloves. For my Desert Eagle, I'm currently using this Factory New Hypnotic with a Hellraiser's hollow in the best pause and a Titan hollow on the handle, and 2 Titan colognes on the remaining positions. I personally love this positioning, but a lot of people told me that they wish that the Titan hollow was swapped with the Hellraisers. Regardless, I really love this Deagle, even though I think that the 2 Titan colognes are really ugly. I can't really bring myself to scrape them though, because each one of these stickers are literally 120 bucks each, which is kind of insane for such an ugly sticker in my opinion. Moving on to the mid-tier guns, for my T-sided loadout, I'm currently using a minimal wear sawed-off Kraken with a Vox hollow in the best position, and a Vox paper in the second best position. This is as close as I can get to owning the 4x Vox hollow version of this, which is absolutely ridiculous for a sawed-off, which is like the worst weapon in the game. I still really love it though, and it's definitely an endgame sawed-off for me. For my Mac 10, I personally think this is nothing special because there's a lot of Mac 10 heats with similar crafts, but I'm currently using a StatTrak minimal wear heat with an LDLC hollow in the best position. The LDLC hollow really matches my vices, kind of like how my Tech 9 does, and it's just a decent Mac 10. For my PP-Bizon, I'm really proud to own this StatTrak Factory New Antique with the Hellraisers on the mag. I really love how the Hellraisers matches perfectly with the color scheme of the skin. It even has some scraped face Boston stickers applied by the previous owner to further add to the red accents of the Hellraiser sticker. Fun fact, there's only one antique that exists with a Hellraiser's hollow on the actual body of the gun, and it's owned by freaking OniPixel. In my opinion, the one that I have isn't really too far off from it, and it's still kind of a good craft. One, if you're watching this video for some reason, please let me buy your Bizon, man. You don't even like Hellraisers like that. For my UMP, I'm currently using a Factory New Souvenir Blaze with a 3D Max and a NIP KATO 14 foils be applied on them. I don't actually like collecting souvenir skins that much, but when I saw this up for sale at a decent price, I just pulled the trigger. It's cool, but I kinda want a KATO Holo UMP later down the line. For my P90, I'm currently using a StatTrak Factory New Cold Blooded with a Vox Holo in the best position. I actually own the iBuyPower Holo version of this craft, but I recently traded it to a friend of mine for another craft that I'll show actually right now. This is my Factory New MP9 Hot Rod with a Hellraiser's Holo in the second best position, and a bunch of other mixed Hellraisers slapped onto it. One thing I hate about this MP9 is that this huge gap between the Atlanta and KATO Holo. So there. Now it's fixed. If you haven't watched my KATO MP9 discussion video yet, in that video I discussed how crazy rare good KATO Holo MP9 crafts are, and this one isn't an exception. As I said before, Hellraiser's Holo is my favorite sticker, and I knew I needed this MP9 ever since I saw it on the market over a year ago. The other MP9 I use in rotation is my Factory New Hypnotic, with a LGB Holo in the best pause, Resin Paper in the second best pause, Complexity Holo on the third, and a LGB paper on the handle. Altogether, both my MP9s have roughly the same value of stickers applied on them, but the Hypnotic just matches so well with my quote-unquote monochrome CT loadout. And red is kind of my favorite color, so that's a bonus too. For my Nova, I'm using a Factory New Graphite with a Resin Holo in the frontmost position. This is actually the #1 float Nova for all Novas with a Resin Holo applied on it. Most Nova Graphites wear really badly, even in Factory New condition, especially at the handle here. This is the #1 float at a 004, but you can still kind of see some scratches if you look carefully and inspect. In game, it looks flawless though, and I added this orange little cap gun charm because I personally think that the gray of the gun matches the gray of the charm, as well as how the orange Resin Holo matches with the orange tip of the gun. As for my Mag 7, I'm extremely lucky to be owning this 1/1 metallic DD pad in Factory New condition. There's exactly 22 Mag 7s in existence with a Resin Holo applied, and there's multiple Heaven Guards, Mementos, and Bulldozers that have Resin Holo applied, but there's only one metallic DD pad. I knew when I saw this I needed it to match my Nova, and for the same reasons I applied a little cap gun charm on this one too. For my MP7, I currently own a StatTrak field tested MP7 Skulls with a Resin Holo in the best position, and a LGB Holo and a Complexity paper. KATO Holo MP7 crafts are just as rare as MP9 crafts, but it's just that the MP9 is a way better gun, so they have way more desirability. That being said, there's only a handful of MP7s that exist with more than one KATO Holo applied, and I'm really happy that I was able to get one with a Resin Holo in the best position. My other MP7 that I use is my field tested MP7 Whiteout that has a float of 0.150, which makes it extremely close to minimal wear. It has two KATO Holos on it, one being a Mouse Sports and the other being an LGB with an iBuyPower paper on the handle. This is another rare craft with multiple KATO Holos on it, and the fact that they're all red, alongside how the whiteout perfectly matches my gloves, really makes this one of the favorite SMGs that I own. Finally, we're going to get into my rifles, which in my opinion are my craziest crafts. I'm going to try to save the best for the last, so please bear with me. I know this video is crazy long, but if you guys enjoyed this video so far, I would really appreciate it if we all remember to like and subscribe. We'll first start off with my two scouts. First being this StatTrak Well-Worn Slashed, aptly named Magic with 5 exclamation points, Cookies V2 by its previous owner. I've owned this thing for over 2 years now, and I've lent it out to a friend before. The original owner, I believe, might have crafted this thing themselves, and chose to sell this beautiful craft on the Steam market for, get this, a whopping $15.18. This craft isn't worth a lot of money, but this kind of scout kind of reminds me of the old days of CSGO, so I'm probably never going to sell this thing because it's kind of a souvenir in a sense to me. My other scout that I use is my StatTrak Minimal Wear Blood in the Water that I bought off a Russian KATO trader. I didn't really apply the name tag myself, and it was named Bear on Shark before I even bought it, which is kind of appropriate because it's the only stat track blood in the water with a Virtus Pro Holo in the best position. It's not anything mind-blowing, but I kind of like that the craft is kind of a meme craft, if you guys know what I'm saying. It's a bear shark. Bear sharks are cool. For my FAMAS, I have a minimal wear Spitfire with the Hellraiser's Holo in the biggest position. This isn't really my dream FAMAS, but it'll do for now. It's the best condition Spitfire that exists with a Hellraiser's Holo applied, and I slapped a really low pattern SAS charm on it because I love how the red eyes matches with the sticker and how the vest of the SAS charm matches with the color of the rifle. For my SG553, I have a stat track field tested pulse with 2 Virtus Pro Holos in the first and second best positions. There's a ton of SG pulses with KATO Holos on them, but there's only a handful with multiples of the same stickers applied. So I'm really happy I was able to trade for this, especially since the sticker positionings were so perfect. For my M4A1Ss, I currently use 2 on rotation, and both of them I've crafted myself. I've already talked about them in 2 separate crafting videos, so if that interests y'all, I'll link them both down in the description of the video. But anyways, I have this ICARUS foe with what I consider to be the best pattern for it, the whole Cloud9 team from the Krakow 17 tournament on it. The Skadoodle sticker in the custom position here on the barrel guard is actually perfectly aligned, pixel perfect, with the nothing sticker. I wanted to mention that because I literally spent an hour using screenshots and using pixels with MS Paint to apply the sticker. It was really unnecessary, but I wanted it to be exactly perfect. My second A1S is my stat track field tested Basilisk with a Hellraiser's Holo and 3 Hellraiser's paper stickers in custom positions. I really love this craft, and I might slap a 5th sticker on it this year once I get my priorities out the way. For my AUG, I have a Stat Track Factory New Wings with 4 Ninjas in Pajamas KATO Holos applied on them. I'm really proud of owning this craft because I personally think that the NIP stickers fit perfectly with the overall color scheme of the skin itself. And because it's a dark skin, which again is a criteria for my CT loadout. Most 4X NIP holocrafts are owned by this Chinese collector, so I'm really grateful I was able to secure this 1 out of 1 craft. For my M4A4, I'm currently using a field tested Howl with a iBuyPower Holo on the stock. This isn't really a rare craft, but it's a craft that I really wanted to own since I started playing back in 2015. I don't think that there's any other holo sticker in the game that pairs with the Howl any better than this one. The only comparable sticker is of course the Howling Dawn paper, which is applied extensively on the Howl as well. For my next craft, this might not wow most people as much as the Howl, but this is my favorite skin I have in my inventory. I have a lot of sentimental value attached to it because not only is it my first 4X KATO holocraft, it's also everything I love about a skin. It's my Stat Track field tested AK-47 Redline with 4 Hellraiser's Holos. I know I said I wanted my T-sided loadout to be colorful, but I could resist the black and red aesthetic with my favorite stickers on them. At this point, this is my endgame AK, and I've had this for a while now, and I'm not really looking to sell it or trade it anytime soon. Finally, for my AWPS, I have 3 I want to showcase in this video. First is my minimal wear Redline with 2 Hellraiser's Holos in sort of a awkward sticker position. This was my AWP that I used before I got my main AWP that I use today, and I'm currently trying to sell it because I don't really use it at all these days. It is however the only Redline that has 2 Hellraiser's Holos applied besides the 4X crafts that exists. If you're a Hellraisers fan that want an AWP that has bang for your buck, hit me up. My Steam profile is in the video's description. My second AWP is an Asimov with 4 Virtus Pro Stockholm stickers applied with a orange diecast AK on the scope. It was gifted to me by my beautiful girlfriend about a year ago. And if you're watching this, I love you, and for my next birthday, I want a 661K Sarn Blue Gem with 4 Titan Holos. No, before y'all ask, this thing is not for freaking sale. And finally, my most recent acquisition is my AWP Dragon Lore in field testing condition with 2 Hellraiser's Holos in the first and second best positions. Float is extremely close to minimal wear at 0.15 float. Like my AK, this was an extremely big purchase for me. It's one of my grails. It also holds some sentimental value to me because it was used in the Copenhagen Major by not only Shiro but Modesty as well, as shown here.
ready to shift down to the lower bomb site. This time, instead of Chopper, it's an AWP, it's Shiro, and he's going to be far more resistance.
Yeah, he's going to take out Hunter. He wants to fight again. Not only will he fight, but he will take 2 away, and he's burning in the flames. He will get... No, that's what it's like to be on the receiving end.
Well, Dog's been dishing those out all year.
This is the only Dragon lore in existence with 2 Hellraiser's hollows applied in the perfect positions. One on the scope, and one on the biggest position on the body. The only better one is a 4x Hellraisers on a 00 factory new version of this, which is slightly out of budget for me. The fact that it was used in a major by some of the best players in the world, as well as it being perfect for my inventory, means a lot to me. I would have never thought that I would one day own a KATO Hollow Dragon lore, let alone one with my favorite stickers applied on them. Oh, and I also have a M249 with a Navi Hollow on the mag. Even though I spent a lot of time and money tailoring my inventory, I'm still missing a lot of the weapons to complete my collection. I still need an R8, MP5, Negev, Zeus, both auto snipers, the XM, and most importantly, the Galil. That being said, I'm gonna have to take a break from trading and buying and selling skins for the most part because it took a lot of sacrifice and headache for me to get to this point personally. I'm not some rich millionaire who can just buy things without a second thought. It took me years to get to this point, which I would have never imagined to be in the first place. I'm extremely grateful to those who helped me learn a lot about trading and KATO crafts along the way. The countless of good people I had the pleasure of trading with that allowed me to get the skins I have. The year 2024 has passed. I hope everyone and their loved ones, even if no New Year's resolution was made, grow to be in some way to be happier and healthier as we begin the new year. For me, 2024 has been an absolutely wild ride, and I've gone through some hardships, but I've also had some amazing new experiences as well. Here's hoping y'all have an amazing 2025 moving forward. And with that being said, I guess that's it for now. As always, thanks for watching my video. But until next time, peace.